So I'm going to go a little off script this morning, which is a little offering for me because I get the best script to work with every Sunday, the living Word of God. And yet I feel His blessing and peace. So one of the most common questions that I've received from our school children during my 5 years as pastor here at St. Ambrose is, Father Peter, where do you live? While this question certainly reflects the human need to kind of visualize where each of us calls home, when I've been invited to your homes, I've been so blessed. It's almost like relationship altering. But I think their question also manifests an intuition that the priest is related to the parish that he serves in a deeper way than merely just coming to work. The honor of being called father for any priest, including myself, reflects a beautiful reality of belonging to a people as to a spiritual family. It is for this reason a rectory, the home in which priests dwell, is meant to be a living symbol of their closeness to the people they serve. Now, unfortunately, 25 years ago, when the Woodbury location of St. Ambrose was established and taking shape, the community wasn't in a position to build a rectory on campus. Eventually, a townhome was purchased about 4 miles north of the church, where the priests serving this parish have resided ever since. Some of you who graciously deliver meals as part of our meal ministry know this location well. But for most parishioners, it remains a kind of abstraction. So I'm happy to share publicly and at all the masses this weekend that we will be building an on-campus rectory here at St. Ambrose in the coming year. This morning, I want to share with you how this came about, the rationale behind this endeavor, the significance of the timing for our Catholic community, and where we are in the process. And ultimately, I want to invite each of you to generously participate by discerning a contribution. So, the inspiration for this idea came from listening sessions that I held with parishioners towards the end of last year. The goal of these encounters was to remember the past with gratitude, like just to take stock of where we've come from, and then to discern the beautiful things God is doing here and now in the present. All so that we can be even more confident, faithful, and generous in the mission Jesus Christ has entrusted to us in the future. Now, the discernment became kind of clear and peaceful and quick that the way forward to financial freedom for the sake of freedom from mission was not a capital campaign. You know, a kind of laborious 3-year pledge, and perhaps you'll find this some relief. I did, you know. The people of this parish have been so generous in stewardship that the initial building mortgage, which is only a fraction in the total investment of this beautiful campus, which was once as much as $16 million, a little over $7 million when I arrived, is now basically the equivalent of a little over $2 million. We have not made extraordinary payments to our debt or the principal because we are yielding a higher interest in an investment account, and yet it's going to happen. So, the past 3 fiscal years have yielded significant momentum in terms of our making gains to retiring this remaining balance. I'm so grateful for each of your generosity, and I would say just unwavering commitment to this parish, especially for the uncertainties we experienced during the pandemic. And I'm grateful for a wonderful ministry team who's really worked tirelessly, thoughtfully, and in a unified way toward this end. And I believe we're positioned very well for what's ahead. Now, while I had always hoped that we might eventually build a rectory when we had paid off the building mortgage, in consulting with parish leadership, it became clear that if a new rectory was valuable in itself and an act of fidelity to God, then this endeavor could actually serve as a catalyst for our entire parish, first generation, second, third, to respond together to get to a place that is new for us as a community. So the plan is this: to build a rectory within the coming year, to retire our initial building mortgage within 2 years, and so that you and I can expand all that we offer here at St. Ambrose, so to accompany others in deepening faith and make an impact on the community around us through gestures of merciful love that we have received. The good news is that in the past 4 or 5 months, we have raised already $700,000 towards this goal. I'm so grateful, some of you here today, for the positive, enthusiastic, and generous response when Tom Schischler or I reached out to you. And this contribution has given us, I would say, the foundation and the good momentum. We're 1/3 towards our goal. We're hoping to raise an additional $1.5 million. We believe this is possible if each household gives a one-time gift or a gift spread out over a year, or really some contribution in whatever way or form is best for you. Now, perhaps as a way for you to locate yourself in the whole and as an example, if each household were to make a contribution of $1,000 above and beyond their annual stewardship, we would reach our goal. We understand that some may not be in a position to do this, while others may be able to give more. But truly, all contributions are welcomed, most appreciated, and needed. So why a rectory? Besides the fact that it's something kind of given and expected for Catholic churches, there are many good reasons. Ultimately, I see it as an investment in our future. What we are building spiritually, together with Christ as the center and inspiration, is not for survival or preservation, but it's rather a precious gift to be shared and multiplied. We've witnessed such great growth in those who experience a deep sense of connection and belonging here at this parish, of those whose faith is deepening and fruitful, and we anticipate greater growth and fruitfulness. I'll tell you this, if we don't grow in the next 5 or 10 years, it won't be because the surrounding area isn't developing. You drive around, huh? One example that comes to mind for me is just confessions. A few years ago, we made a commitment to offer confessions every day of the week, sometimes twice in a given day. And now all these times are full. And I'm saying, I want to offer more. And yet, I know, and I feel it so many ways weekly, that I and Father Sam could benefit from the ministry of more priests. It's my hope to receive a second associate priest in the not-so-distant future, either a newly ordained or a retired senior priest, who could bless this parish by his ministry. I would also say, I don't know if you know this, but the higher-ups see a certain health to this parish that can bless seminarians preparing to be ordained as priests. For the last 3 years, I've been asked to take a seminarian for the summer so that he can learn from this community. I've been asked to take a teaching parish seminarian throughout the year, but haven't been able to because currently we have no guest room in our townhouse and really just limited space to host others for a meal. In the end, I would say a rectory will contribute to healthy and holy priests. They go together, which will invariably benefit you by enabling us to be even more generous with our presence. One example that comes to mind, many days I'm here at 6:30 to 7, and if I get home for supper or late supper, my heart's full. It's all good stuff. But I think, the 7th grade girls are playing a volleyball game. And if I went over for 15, 20 minutes, that would bless them, and I know I'd have 3 interactions. But on a 10 below day, I say, I'm not driving back up there. So there really is practical ways where this will help us. So where are we at? Well, I am so grateful to a wonderful group of parishioners, led by Sharon and Mike D'Agostino, who have been entrusted by me with bringing this project to fruition. I've been involved, but I haven't been leading it. At the end of the day, this is not my house. I get to live there, but it belongs to the parish. It began with touring rectories that have been built in the Archdiocese in the past 5 to 10 years, interviewing and selecting an architect-builder who we could best collaborate with, and then working a process that yielded a design and a home for the priests who serve this parish, and one that just frankly makes me excited to live in. So the committee and the builder will continue working with the city now on the approval process. Some points I think, briefly, that they would like me to share with you is the rectory that's been designed is built for the long term. It's built to last, good quality and durable, but not flashy or fancy. And the design will complement the existing buildings on campus. It will be a single-level living to provide accessibility, and ultimately it will be a home where we priests can live in community and welcome others, guests, our family members, visiting priests, and seminarians. We'll have a chapel for daily prayer and a sizable common space to allow for hosting events, even special parish events. So, I'm almost done, but 25 years ago this year, a group of faithful people gathered with a common hope and a lot of uncertainties. And to me, it is quite amazing to see what has taken shape here and what continues to unfold and deepen. And as a wise priest told me when I was first starting out as pastor as another parish, he said, buildings are for programs, programs are for people, and people are for God, that they might know His saving love in Jesus Christ and live in abiding communion with Him. So this week, you'll be receiving a mailing outlining the project, the hope, and the common goal, a response to frequently asked questions, and a pledge form. The following week, you'll be receiving the next edition of The Way, which will hold up with some wonderful pictures and stories, all that we have to celebrate in the last 25 years, as well as how building a rectory now fits into this unfolding. Well, I hope this news brings you a sense of excitement. 3 people asked me last night, they've been coming here and not registered, that they wanted to register. And I thought, you sure you don't want to do this after, this mailing? So that took me as a surprise in a good way. But I hope you're excited, but know that whatever your questions or input is, I am open. Last thing I want to say is, for those second, third generation here at St. Ambrose, in helping us to get across the initial building mortgage and building a rectory, it means in some way you're responsible for every brick that's been laid. And maybe a year from now, when you're driving to church, you can tell your children, oh yeah, that's where our priests live. And yeah, we built that. We were responsible for that being part of the campus. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for your prayerful contribution and consideration.